mushroom ceremony. Hi guys. Hi. Welcome back to my channel. So, um, I've decided to have the ceremony live, and I'm probably gonna have it tonight. It's not gonna be on this video. This video is just to give you some idea. Well, first of all, because I felt like I wanted to do this video, and I record when I feel the moment is right. I go by my feeling. I go by my gut feelings. At 55 years of age, I've learned to go by my gut, to follow my gut. So I'm preparing the mushroom ceremony, and haven't eaten anything. I had a cup of coffee. That's it. And I'm gonna have probably another cup of coffee with milk, just so my stomach doesn't get upset. And I won't eat anything until I eat the mushrooms. And let's take a look at the mushrooms, shall we? Ugh. You may remember this little jar from our previous videos. It's got honey and mushrooms, and that's it. Became very liquefied. I actually put it through the blender. I blended the mushrooms because I had a lot of stems and shit. It was hard to swallow. And I made it into a liquid. It's probably about that jar full of mushrooms with the honey around them. There's more mushrooms than honey in there. That's for sure. And, I had that much already. The jar was full, obviously. And it didn't. It gave me a little bit. These are pajaritos. These are the mushrooms that grow on cow shit, which I collected myself. Went out in the fields, looked at the cows and collected cow shit mushrooms. What do we do with our free time? So I collected about 3 of these jars, and 2 of them are still in the fridge, waiting to be drunk. And I've drank that much, and I didn't really, take off like. So this is going to be an endurance trip. I'm going to take my ayahuasca cup, and I'm going to measure dosages and see when I start to feel the gag reflex that says you can't drink anymore. That's when I'm going to start drinking. I'm going to take shots. Until I can't take any more shots. And if I finish the whole jar, good for me. I doubt it, because it's really nasty tasting. And after a couple of shots, you're going to want to vomit if you're not careful. So I'll figure out how to how to drink that stuff without vomiting. And another element here is that it's already fermented a little bit. I don't know. One of the things that I haven't studied it, I'm going to probably look for it right now. In fact, let's go look for it. Fermentation of psilocybin. What happens with it? Because it may not do anything. I may just be drinking, shitty shit water for nothing, which would be kind of sad. If you're afraid of parasites, if you're afraid of salmonella, if you're afraid of shit that, goes bump in the night, my tripod is falling apart. Shit. This video may not be for you. So, forewarned is more foreseen. Um, Again, I'm not going to do the ceremony right now. I'm just going to prepare it right now. Uh, how do I prepare for ceremony? Well, I clean up my room, I clean up the altar, I sweep a little bit, I bathe, bathe myself, and I got to do some food shopping. We're out of little cat food baggies for the cat, so I'm gonna buy the cat food. Do the ceremony after the delivery of the cat food. You guys don't need to go through all of that. Um, that's pretty much it. It's about the extent of it. Not doing anything else today. This is what I'm doing. And well, you're curious what my life is like. This is it. This is my life. That's what I do. I try to pierce the veil of perception, the doors of perception. I try to go through the doors of perception. Um, yeah, that's it. That's the video. That's what I want to share. And this following video is going to be the actual ceremony. And see where it takes us. I'll do the ceremony, and then depending on how long it takes to kick in, I'll do the trip report, and I'll just because maybe I leave the camera rolling, but it's kind of boring. You're just gonna see me laying down, you know. I'm just gonna go lay down after I drink it, so it's not like it's gonna be so exciting. He's gonna be doing mushrooms, you know. No, it's not, the mushrooms are not a party drug. Mushrooms are not to go out and they're not like MDMA. They're not like Molly. They're not like crack. You don't. In fact, I would even argue that um, opiates are not even for that. When I was with Arthur, we did quite a few opiates. He was an opium addict. Um, Opium is not to party. It's to go deeply into yourself and delve into your own consciousness and try to figure out what the frack is going on with your head. And if you're not strong enough, you will fuck yourself up pretty bad doing it. So, user beware. It's see when you start to figure out that we're actually in a very fucked up world, which is what drugs are for. You start to see the abuse that you are subjected to daily, uh, just being a regular, ordinary human slave. You start to see the faults and the fallacies of society, and not just our society, pretty much everything, every single society. Here's the point. Here's the point. Shamans, drug users, used to be respected. They used to be, the healers and the visionaries of their tribes. You always see, like the chief, and right next to him is a shaman, King Arthur and Merlin. So Merlin was tripping balls. And King Arthur probably wasn't, but he probably knew better than to, tell Merlin not to trip balls. Right down to John Dee and Queen Elizabeth. Is it Elizabeth? Yeah. So what happened? Where did you go wrong? Well, in the 1960s, we had the hippie revolution, and we had Nixon, who said that, very clearly, he said it. It's all on tape. He wanted to beat the shit out of the blacks and the commies, and the reds, And the most, I mean, to win the Vietnam War, he needed to get rid of all the dissenters, and those were the hippies, man. They were the hippies, were the dissenters. They were the guys that were saying, "Fuck this! This is all wrong. This is bullshit. We're not fighting this war." And the reason they were doing that, because they were high as fuck, and they didn't give a shit. So Nixon declared war on the hippies and declared war on drugs, and then they realized it was a great business. Was it a great business? Because somehow, if you're high on drugs, and if you find a drug that is particularly addictive, like for instance morphine, um, you will do most you can to keep getting high. And that motivation was enough for the CIA to begin to really deal drugs to the selected drugs to the selected groups, and begin the pharma wars. Now, pharmaceutical companies. I mean, just imagine if LSD would have been made legal. You know, Tim Leary came around. He did his thing. He said, everybody's got to get their hands on this shit so they can wake the fuck up. And it was too dangerous. It was just too fucking dangerous. Now, was he controlled opposition, controlled by the CIA? Probably. Did he know that? Probably not. Maybe he did. Maybe he figured it out, because once you start taking LSD, you get really fucking smart really fucking quick. So, um, yeah. So Tim Leary, and then it was LSD was made legal and was made like and then further psychonauts like Terence McKenna. Well, Terence McKenna was never arrested that I know of, or maybe he was. I have to check it out. But he was certainly not imprisoned as like Tim Leary was. Yeah, and these cats knew each other, so it's not like they were alien to each other. And now we got psychonauts like this. God, what is his name? Oh God! Oh my God! Oh, it's amazing chemist. I love his videos. Let's go looking for it. Let's go find it out. I'm gonna be. Let's chill out with me for a minute. We're gonna talk about mushrooms, and I want to be. I don't want to give you the wrong information, so I'm gonna Google the shit. Is Google compromised? Probably. I mean, I just found something out about ChatGPT which pissed the shit out of me. I was editing my book, The Adventures of Agua the Lizard Man, through ChatGPT, and it's a fucking fantasy story. It's a fucking it's a story about a lizard man, right? It's pretty rowdy story. I mean, it's not like it's not like, but I wouldn't call it pornographic. No, ChatGPT forbids pornography, so I may be in violation of the terms of usage of ChatGPT by trying to edit my novel. We'll figure that one out. Yeah, okay. I write some deranged motherfucking shit. I do. I am, not one of these polite, holier than thou mofos. I am the type of guy that, I'm not a PC guy, right? I'm not a PC guy. Are you a PC cat? Cat, tell me the truth. Are you a pissy pussy? Are you a pussy PC? Are you pussy PC? Are you a pussy PC? This is the sweetest cat in the world. Sweetest cat in the world. Anyways, I am not known to be like, but it's a freaking novel. It's a novel. Why can't I have my novel edited by ChatGPT? Because it contains some, quasi-adult material. Come on. I don't even do descriptions of sex, man. I just tell shit happened and shit happened. Good grief, man. I mean, if you read the novel, you know what I'm talking about. It's not pornography. It's not. The Adventures of Agua the Lizard Man is not pornography. It was actually written for kids at first, then it evolved into other things. But look at this shit. I was surprised by this. I was so surprised by this. This content may violate. This content may violate. This content may violate our content policy. If you believe this to be an error, I do. Please submit your feedback. I won't. Your input will aid our research in this area. Man, I read their content policies and I was like, fuck this. You guys are so cooked. Cocked is the word? Cocked. You guys are so fucking cocked with this shit. You know, we can't even talk about certain things. Come on. You know, it's like when I started conversation with the ChatGPT about Adolf Hitler, and immediately it went into a loop. Adolf Hitler bad, Adolf Hitler bad, Adolf Hitler bad. And I said, wait a minute. This is not intelligent. This is not a conversation. This is just fucking propaganda. I'm done with it. Can't handle it. I don't mind calling a spade a spade. If Adolf Hitler was a son of a bitch, okay, fine. But you know what? I didn't meet the guy. I didn't know him. Everything that has been said about him was said by the folks that fought against him, not by the folks that fought for him, because they were either dead or in prison. So he didn't get the right representation. Then he came on the Nuremberg trials. Why the fuck wasn't Truman in the Nuremberg trials as a fucking war criminal? If they bombed Hiroshima and Nagasaki with a nuclear bomb, for Christ's sakes, isn't that fucking genocide? So I'm not buying this whole thing, man. I'm a different generation. I was born after the war. I don't even know what the fuck. But you know what? The cloud flew over. Anyways, what was we talking about? We were talking about we wanted to find out if Terence McKenna was arrested. Fucking cloud's amazing. I'm not doing that, by the way. That's the sky doing that shit, man. Mushroom trips start even before you take the motherfucking mushrooms. They start to play with your mind. Kind of what I do. I play with my mind. And yours, maybe, if you're crazy like me. Anyways, what were we talking about? We're talking about Terence McKenna. And if has Terence McKenna been arrested? It's a question for Google. That was the first question. And then there was the other guy. I wanted to find out this other guy that I'm looking at. Let's see what it says. Terence McKenna illegally wearing uniform. I guess not. I guess he was arrested for wearing a uniform illegally. Chief Detective McMahon arrested McKenna in Auckland in September 1818. Wait a minute. Nothing to do. Nah, he wasn't been arrested, man. Nobody arrested him. Terry, they probably shook him down. They do these shakedowns. All the drug enforcers, they do shakedowns and they say you're either with us or you're against us type of thing, and then you have to cooperate or you go into fucking jail. So I wouldn't be surprised if old Terence was kind of like that, because he's too much of a fracking huge enormous figure in psychedelics not to have gone through that bullshit. It's just part and parcel of what you have to go through in this world. I mean, I live in fucking Cartel City, man. Come on, just imagine me, going through all this shit too. But Terrence, I mean, Dennis McKenna for sure. I mean, they all went through it for sure. Anyways, the other thing was, we want to go through um, the other guy that has these amazing drug videos, which I believe are I got here. Hold on, because I want to show them to you. So ayahuasca and spiritual. Here we go. And there's going to be Retiro Spiritual with ayahuasca. Magic. This is more recent. Discussing DMT, Mike Tyson, mandalas, 5 a.m. military report. I even did a video about him. Can't remember his name. Shucksy Bucksy, okay. How am I going to find this cat? You know what? I'm going to put DMT and put videos, and hopefully we'll find them. Yeah, I'll show you what I'm doing here. You can't see there. See here. Here you can see. Okay, here we go. I'm searching for this cat. It's like Preston. Whatever his name is. Right now I'm trying to get a good angle on my camera so you guys can see what I'm doing. There we go. There you go. More or less what I'm doing. Preparing for a mushroom trip is what I'm doing. So DMT videos, DMT Nexus, DMT. And we want to see videos. Dimethyltryptamine. Man, I've been working with this shit for a long time now. You know what? I've been working on this for a long time, trying to educate you people about drugs. You know? Oh, my coffee. My coffee's ready. Okay, let's go get my coffee because I can hear the water boiling. Ah, shit. Let's go get my coffee. So I'm taking today's coffee with a little cream. No food until we do the shroomies. That, for a fat guy like mine that loves eating, that is pure fucking torture, man. That is pure fucking undiluted torture. You know what I mean, Jelly Bean? But we gotta respect the substance too, you know. We gotta be in communion with the substance. Try to take it seriously. You know. I'll do the kitchen before I start, but let's use this one here for now. I like the big one. Big coffee. This is not so much for the coffee right now, more for the milk, for the cream thingy. Because I haven't eaten, and I don't think I'm diabetic or hypoglycemic. I haven't checked, actually. I probably should check. But if I am, I don't want to go into a fracking state of shock in the middle of a mushroom trip because I didn't use any sugar. So I use a little bit of Nestle and coffee. Not a lot of coffee because I already had my cup of coffee this morning. I don't want my stomach to be upset, as you saw in the last video. And but I do want to have something, so I'm not thinking about food all the time. Yeah, you know. Proper mushroom ceremony, if I was a serious person with myself, would probably take about 3 days of fasting. I am so far away from 3 days of fasting that I'm not even going to try. But what I am going to do is that I'm going to not eat anything until the mushrooms enter my stomach. Then after the mushrooms, I can eat something. I'll buy some food too. But for the moment, this will be my food. My food is a little coffee with cream. Little cream coffee. I gotta put this in the fridge because otherwise the animals get to it. God, yeah, you have no idea how much I enjoy having a refrigerator. For years, I wanted to have one to keep my stuff together, and now I finally do. And what do you think about having a refrigerator? Ramira, beautiful cat of my life. It's my cat, Ramira. Now that there is Ashton. Ashton doesn't come in. He stays outside. Ashton, where are you going? Come back, Ashton. Why are you running away from me? Wildcats. But they get food here. Only thing is that if they want to eat, they got to come inside. That's the rule. And Ramira keeps kind of like, gatekeeper type thing for cats that are not really invited. There's a big gray one that tried to hurt my cat, my Ramira, and he was not welcomed because he was too aggressive and too wild, I don't know. And there's Beelzebub. Hey, Beelzebub. How are you doing, Beelzebub? Please don't swarm me in this office. Constant companion. When you live in a ranch, you expect Beelzebub to be there because he's the Lord of the Flies, and there's always flies in the ranch. Checking out his people, Can't blame him for that. Oh, wouldn't be right. Wouldn't be right. Anyways, what are we talking about? We're talking about famous psychonauts, and I wanted to show you some of the videos that I've been watching and some of the inspirations that I get from my work, which I consider the acquisition of consciousness. So let me go over here, show you my screen, and we're going to go to Google and Vice TV. He's in Vice TV, this guy, for sure. But he's got his own channel, though. I want to see if I can find him. He's not showing up like Hamilton. What it's like to make DMT art on YouTube. Hamilton meets LSD World Peace. Hamilton Morris. Thank you. Morris. I used to work for a guy named Morris. You know that? I haven't seen this video, so let's check it out. Hamilton Morris. One of my favorite DMT speakers. And he's going to introduce to Joe Roberts, a painter who uses DMT. So the spiritual molecule, DMT. God, my thing is slow. I can just see all the alphabet agencies, the KGB, the FBI, the NSA going through my videos before I try to watch them even, Like, well, guys, just let me watch a fucking video. It wouldn't do any harm to anybody. Chill out. But I'm in Mexico, man. What do you expect? You know, live in Mexico long enough, and you get to see how ridiculous it all really is. People getting their fucking heads peeled off by a rusty knife or having their balls eaten by dogs on screen, on camera. And you try to make a video about DMT, and look, the feds are all over you. Federales. Can't hear it because I don't have. I forget I don't. You know what? I forgot I don't have sound on this computer. Ha! Doesn't work. And look at that. Too slow. Anyways, Hamilton Morris. I just want to see if I can see the guy. That's Joe Roberts, not Hamilton Morris. Man, he looks like a tree. There we go. That's the fella. Wait, motherfucker, come back. Come back, motherfucker. There we go. Hamilton Morris. One of my favorite second outs. I wish he would just grow a fucking mustache or a beard, though. He looks like a wimpy ass Jew boy. See, call a spade a spade. Why can't we call a wimpy ass Jew looking boy, a wimpy ass Jew boy, and have him all his feelings are so hurt? Come on, guys. I'm not hating on the guy. I'm loving the fucking guy. Language has become such a perilous, precarious, stupid thing for control of our thought, man. Be fucking real, motherfuckers. You're afraid to be demonetized on YouTube? Well, be demonetized, but put your shit out there at least so people can know what you're doing. By the way, if you want to help me doing what I'm doing, I got a Patreon. I don't really remember where the fuck it is, but I have a Patreon, so. You know what I'm saying? Why are you so worried about what words are good to say and what words are bad to say when everybody's telling nothing but lies? By the way, I don't think he's Jewish. I don't know if he's Jewish or not. I don't give a shit. It's not the point. Hamilton Morris. I just wanted to remember him. Couldn't remember his name, so I brought him. And the computer just plugged in DMT, and there he was. And there's a whole family of us out there doing this shit, guys. Not all of us are the same. We don't all share the same path. Many of us are critical of others. Many of us have different visions of what it is all about. Many of us are atheistic, some of us are not. I'm not. I've been way too close to the Holy Spirit in my heart. And you can call it whatever you want to call it, but I don't give a shit what you call it. Holy Spirit is this feeling that everything is going to be all right. It's having the good guys win in the end. It's having redemption for the bad guys. Read the Bible, they don't talk about that. They talk about eternal hell and shit like that. See, I can't imagine. I'll repeat it until I'm fucking blue in the face. I can't imagine God, the God of men, the God of goodness, condemning someone eternally. Eternity is a long time. When you take DMT, especially 5-MeO DMT, Sonoran toad venom, you will meet eternity. You will know what eternity is. Psilocybin. Psilocybin will give you a glimpse into eternity that you don't even expect at the right dosage. That's why eventually people get scared of doing it, because eternity is a long time. And you see some shit out there that you go, oh my God. And guess what? Heaven and hell, in my experience, heaven and hell are real. And you got to see both of them to know that that's a fact, Jack. You go to hell, you'll find hell looking right back at you. You go to heaven, you'll find heaven looking down on you. It's a weird thing, right? Um, the unity of all things, that's the one thing that psychedelics bring to you. Heaven and hell are one. Now, the language that we use to explain all this shit is different for everybody. And oh, there's Beelzebub just crossed my. Beelzebub just crossed my. Beelzebub is a fly. Just crossed my screen. Still flying around here doing this thing. I recognize him for who he is because I recognize the spirit of it. What do flies do? They feed on shit. They feed on shit. What was in the jar that I just showed you? Mushrooms that grow on cow shit. I'm not so far from Beelzebub. A little bit different because it's not shit. It's just the mushrooms that grow on the shit. But you know where I'm going with this. It's like if you read Beelzebub is the demon of gluttony. What do I got to show for my troubles? I'm a glutton, man. Look at this belly. Look at this huge little belly. I'm getting it down, by the way. I'm getting it down. I'm getting it under control. It's not that bad. You know, my pride, that's even worse. But let's go one by one. So if you're going to face demons, man, go one by one. Don't face them all at once because they will crush you. They will make you mincemeat. Anger. I didn't even know I had anger in me. It's one of the things that I always thought, oh, I'm in control here. I don't have any anger. Fuck me, I was surprised. Alice was able to get some of my anger out. And it came like a wave. And then I immediately recognized that it's not something I wanted to be partake in. I asked for forgiveness of Alice, and he said yes, and he forgave me to some extent because I don't think he has forgiven me for everything yet, but he forgave me for being angry. I mean, you know, and yeah. So all these things, all those demonic forces that are constantly around us, and that we recognize or we don't in ourselves, you know. A preacher that goes up to the pulpit and he's all fat, he's probably got some issues with Beelzebub that he hasn't faced. Name the game. Name of the game. You can't go out there and eat pork all day long, big barbecued pork, and say you're in control of your sin because you're not. Just you're not. You know. Unless you're a frickin' Viking and you don't give a shit. Then Odin will wait for you in Valhalla. I don't necessarily think I would enjoy my time in Valhalla. I mean, it's kind of cold out there and you gotta fight everybody all day long. And then you get to fuck all night and eat barbecued. But still, it's kind of honor. Valhalla is about honor. You're in the most honorable hall of all. You are in the hall of the All Father. You will be sharing in the feast with the All Father. But man, you don't want to have to put an axe into somebody's head all day long, just to be their friends again at night. It's a little bit too much for me. In the realm of hell, I mean, Hela. It's not that different from Mictlan, which I visited with my friends in Oregon, in Eugene, Oregon. I went to McClellan. It's funny that portal to McClellan was in Eugene, not in Mexico. But what do you know? Portals. Anyways, I'm starting to just ramble on, and if you don't know the references, you're gonna be like very confused about what I'm saying. If you know my references, you're gonna be amused. I hope, because when an old fart starts to trip, sometimes you get a kick out of it, especially if you're somebody like Hamilton. Hamilton, by the way, I love you. Come drink some ayahuasca with me, please. I want to meet you. I won't do anything sexy or uncouth with you, I promise, unless you want to. And I say that because Iron, my dear friend, who is more bisexual than Beelzebub, um, was tripping on DMT and he started to suck my titties. And I said, no, this is not happening. And I had two options. I could, you know, have a bad trip with him about it and like get angry and get pissed off, or I could just gently push him off me. And I chose the second, I chose the latter, which was kind of weird for me. And I'm talking about it now because it's been quite a number of years and I don't think he minds because he's that type of guy. Aaron, I love you. Here's a shout out to you. Um, yeah, just what am I talking about? What were we talking about? How much glass is under my feet in some train station? I'm like a homeless guy in the middle of like a crack addict homeless guy in the middle of New York City, but I have my own house and a big property. It's pretty weird. I feel like, oh, this is bizarre. But I'm that type of personality, Those you meet those guys in the streets, camping out, and usually they don't have money. But here I am fighting for this big old house. I don't know if I want to fight for this big old house, man. It's too much to care. I mean, I can't even clean it, man. It's too much to clean. Fuck. I'm getting closer and closer to just walking away from it all. And I can't because I owe my aunt 1,000,000 pesos and I owe my uncle 1,000,000 pesos and I gotta pay them too. It's like, I mean, I'm not even gonna get to keep the house, but I won't owe them anything if I do what I gotta do. And I don't like to have debt. They're helping me out to keep the house. They're trying to save the house for me. They're trying to save the house for me. And they put a lot of effort and time into it and resources. My aunt has spent money doing this. So I don't want to fail her. I don't want to fail her at all. I can't do that. But it is a lot too. So much. There's a freaking black hole in that wall over there, man. It's getting bigger. And it's kind of sucking energy. It's like, shh, it's all going into it. And obviously, the biggest black hole is my asshole, but actually, there's a bigger one. My mouth. Look. For a black hole. Bye.